And Wales. I have a great affinity with Wales. I thought the atmosphere in the lead up to the game was incredible. They had Liam McGrandles on before the game with a Joe medley of songs. I thought Matt O'Reilly was just a joy to watch. I tweeted about this. I was watching him today, and he really looked like Joe Ledley. Okay everyone, we have just beaten Rangers, and then tomorrow there's the small matter of Real Madrid coming to town. And if all of that wasn't enough, we have got Super Joe Ledley joining 67 Hail Hail. Joe's going to be with us from time to time going forward to discuss all things Celtic. Joe, it's amazing to have you on board.
Thank you very much appreciated. I look forward to it.
What have you been up to? That's what people will want to know right away. You announced your retirement last November from football, so how are you finding that and what have you been doing?
Yeah, I've been covering a lot of media work down south, especially Cardiff, Newport games, and obviously then with the international scene coming on, so doing a bit of radio commentating and analysis as well for Match of the Day Wales for the Wales game, and also set up my own football academy, which gives the opportunity to kids from 5 to 11 to join. So that's been really promising at the moment, and it's great to see all these kids coming through and performing well, and especially what the national team has done here and back home in Wales.
Yeah, we won't mention the World Cup because you obviously came through the same wee section that we were meant to be in. But anyway,
Yeah.
I guess you'll have had a wee bit of time then amongst all of that to see Ange Postecoglou's Celtic, and you must, like the rest of us, be just loving it.
Oh, it's been fantastic, and it's a credit to him because it was a difficult time for Celtic to come in. You had to recruit. A lot of players left. Brownie left, and the recruitment has been second to none. I think the players who he's brought in has been fantastic and really brought into the structure of the team and the philosophy that Celtic want to play. And I covered them actually in pre-season with Ange, and I spoke to him myself, and you could see the way he wanted to play. The fullbacks play a massive key into this team, and they've been fantastic. And it always takes time, but to win the league in your first season is remarkable, and what a fantastic start as well to this new season.
Have you got a favourite player?
Yeah, well, I always loved Jamesy Forrest. He's always been there with me. He's a fantastic guy. So I still speak to him, keep in touch with him. But me and my little boy at the moment is Jota. We just we think he's been fantastic, and what a signing to keep him as well for this season. It's such a bargain buy, and what he brings to the table is fantastic, cutting in on both wings, and creates goals and scores goals as well. So at the moment, is me and my boys is Jota.
Disappointed. I thought it'd be like a central midfielder or something like that, but you're going for the winger.
Yeah, I'm changing it up. I'm moving on. I'm going for the winger, but I have been very impressed with O'Reilly since he's arrived from MK Dons. It's a big step up, and credit to him, he's been fantastic. Assist wise, he's got a lovely left foot, and he's always catching on the eye when you watch him play in midfield, and sort of has that free role where he can join in and defends well as well. Not just offensive, but defensive. He's been slotted in very well.
Yeah, usually in these first videos we would spend the whole half an hour chatting about your Celtic career. I'm sure as you'll understand we've got a lot going on at the moment, so we're going to confine it to 3 questions, Joe, and then obviously as we have you on in future we can return to your Celtic career in times. Favourite game you played in or even were just part of at Celtic? I kind of guess you may have an obvious one here.
Yeah, well, there's 2. But the main one for me was Barcelona in the Champions League. I've always covered and always watched La Liga when I was a boy, and my favourite team was Barcelona out of the 2 of them. So to play against that team was just an unbelievable achievement, and a real eye opener because you realise how far you are behind, because the likes of Xavi in midfield and Iniesta and Busquets was just a massive experience and honour to play against those teams. And that's one of the reasons why I came to Celtic, is to play in the Champions League and play against the best players in the world. But to go on and beat them 2-1 at Celtic Park with the atmosphere was just mind blowing. I think everyone was shocked, not just us players, but the fans as well. And you could see at the end how much it appreciated, from the fans and the atmosphere. And it's just one of those games which I think will go down in history.
You were actually shocked. The players were shocked afterwards.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't think anyone expected us to beat Barcelona. I know we gave them a good run in away from home in the first game and lost in the dying seconds, but to beat that team, for me, that's probably the best Barcelona team of all time. Messi as well, and it was just a fantastic team performance. We knew we could hurt them on set plays. We worked on set plays and Victor as well. So it was just a massive shock. You pinch yourself after. You can't believe what you've achieved.
Was there another game as well you were going to mention?
Yeah, Rangers. When I scored 1-0 to go above them.
Would that be your favourite personal moment then? Because that was my next question.
Most definitely. In a selfish way, is glad that it was 1-0 and I got the header. I remember actually when Lenny put the team out and I was playing left back, I was raging. I was fuming at the time because that's definitely not my position. But the most important thing is to go out there and help your team. And we knew it was a huge game because if we won, we go above Rangers and we can kickstart our sort of season. And we done well. I remember it was a very windy day under the lights, and it's just a great ball in by Charlie. We all knew his delivery and his left foot, what he's capable of doing. It's just about getting on the end of it, and it did, and I did, and it was just about hanging on then and holding on for the 3 points. And it's amazing to score against Rangers. I think every player would say exactly the same thing.
Yeah, midweek derby game, similar to the one last year actually, in that we went top of the league with a victory. It was so windy. Just remember the wee displays or whatever, the cards or whatever all over the pitch throughout the game. And blowing. I think there was some sort of doubt about the game going ahead for a wee bit in the afternoon because something had blown off or something from memory. So it was crazy. Who's the best player you played with at Celtic?
For me, I think he made me a better player and a better person is Scott Brown. I think his professionalism on and off the pitch was remarkable. You got to come into training and you got to give 100%, and wouldn't let the standard drop. He's a fantastic captain, probably the best captain I ever worked under. Not just that, he was a good footballer as well. Probably didn't get much credit than what he deserves. I know the Celtic fans, always think highly of him, but I think just we had that connection in midfield that just really benefited me and pushed me on to become a better player.
Yeah, it was a good midfield. That I have an extra question actually. Now everyone loves you. The amount of comments we got in from when we announced it yesterday, everyone's saying, "Oh, Joe Ledley, loved that guy." Why do you think Celtic fans, loved you so much? I guess I should probably ask Celtic fans, but I'll ask you instead.
I don't know. I just think we had that connection. It was difficult for me to move. It was my first ever move. I was a Cardiff boy, played in Cardiff since I was the age of 9. Had a few offers in the Premier League. It was my first kid was going to get born. So it was a big decision for me to move. And, I think when I spoke to Lenny, I come and saw the stadium, it just straight away I knew this is the place I wanted to be. I wanted to play in the Champions League. I wanted to win medals because I haven't won anything in my career at the time. So I think I just had that connection. I worked hard. I always give 100%. And I'm just a generally nice person off the pitch as well. I think fans appreciate that. It goes a long way. You always got to go and give them autographs or pictures, things like that. But I think it's just my determination and sort of that togetherness that we grew on, and obviously scoring in important goals, which always helps the occasion and always helps with the fans.
Definitely. Well, Joe, it's great to have you aboard, isn't it, everyone? We're delighted to have Joe Ledley here. Now, we're going to move on to Saturday. I think I'm right in saying you saw the game. 4-0 against Rangers. Need to repeat that. 4-0 against Rangers. Pretty special. I mean, amazing. I mean, the thing for me is this isn't a bad Rangers team. I think over the last 6-7 seasons we've had a lot of big wins, but this is against a team that were in the Europa League final, 3 months ago. I guess that's what gives us all that extra satisfaction.
Yeah, it was a massive win, just to get that lead a little bit more comfortable. But I thought Celtic completely dominated the game straight from the off. the goals were scored in the important time, and it was just encouraging. I don't think Joe Hart had many, saves to make apart from our own player McGregor at the end, but I thought they was absolutely fantastic. The way they moved the ball, the way they defensively stepping out, playing into midfield, creating overloads into wide areas, and getting the balls into the box was magnificent. And like you said, it's against a good Rangers team. What they've achieved, obviously last season, and qualifying for the Champions League as well. So we always knew it was going to be a difficult game, but the way they managed the performance and the crowd was magnificent.
Yeah, I mean, we were taking throw-ins quickly, corners quickly. They just couldn't deal with it. And as much as a lot of the chat about Postecoglou's team is that he likes to pass the ball out and pass the ball along the back and keep the ball, I thought when we were at our best, it was, quick counter-attacking play. And I felt at times we almost welcomed Rangers onto us and then just hit them in the counter-attack. And I mean, the finishing for the goals was brilliant. Abada's finishing was great. Jota's goal is just incredible. Yeah. And even David Turnbull for the fourth takes it so well, and we had other chances as well.
Yeah, no, exactly that. I think you could see the ball boys. The minute it goes out, they're straight onto the pitch, and Joe Hart wants to play it out as soon as possible. And I think that's where people are at the weakest, when you got a recruit back, and once you to give him no time on the ball and no time for him to get into shape, that's where you're going to hurt teams. And like you said, I think Abada, his goals, he's took them very well. Jota, it's a great ball by O'Reilly. I think he had 3 assists actually that game if you look at him, and that ball over the top and Jota getting onto the end, that was probably my favourite goal. And then Turnbull comes on. I think this is where Celtic have recruited very well. I think the quality and depth of the team. James E. Forrest can't even get on, and which you can see how big this team is, and they've recruited so well, and Turnbull coming on and getting a goal as well. So I think it was just fantastic. Like you said, pace and power through the team, and determination will always win you games.
Do you think the defence doesn't get the credit it deserves? Sometimes, given how good they are in possession, I think they're improving with every game. But also, defensively, just so resolute. I mean, Carter Vickers is just such a good player.
Yeah, he's been a fantastic signing. Like you said, they don't get much credit because sometimes they don't have much to do, and that's a credit to everyone in the squad working well off the ball. And a clean sheet, Joe Hart was magnificent as well. So the back four in those sort of games probably don't get as much credit as the strikers, but we always know that as midfielders and defenders, you never really get much credit. It always goes to the attacking players when you've won 4-0, but no, they've been solid, and I think that's where Celtic have worked very well, and that's where they sort of creates the openings for those attacking midfielders and strikers to get on the end of things, because if you've got a solid defence, you've got the licence to go forward.
Yeah, I think you were part of a couple of 3-0 wins over Rangers, if I'm right in saying so. What's the feeling like afterwards? Is it joy? Is it relief?
Yeah, it's a relief because, the build-up to these games are massive. The hype, the pressure, for one. You've got to win. So you're going into a game and you've got a lot on your shoulders. You've got a lot of pressure from fans and media to put in a performance. So, once that whistle is gone and it's finished and it's over, it's just a massive relief, and you just want to go in with it in the change room and hug everyone and have a party, get the music on, and there's just no better feeling. And that's what I miss is when I was a footballer was after, because just being there and showing everyone's emotion is massive, because you work so much in training, but you work with fans and people don't see. You've got to put in, you've got to dedicate yourself, and you've got to listen to instructions and the way the team wants to play. And once that's over, there's no better feeling.
Fabulous. This is what the league table looks like, everyone. We've got a 5-point advantage over Rangers now. Livingston to come up next at Celtic Park. Joe, it kind of feels to me like the whole 5-point thing has gone a little bit under the radar here, I guess because it's so early in the season, because we've got Real Madrid coming up. But we're in a brilliant position now, 5 points clear after 6 matches, and it doesn't seem like the team are going to throw away daft points in any games. I mean, we may, but this is looking good in terms of winning the league again, albeit that it's very early.
Yeah, like you said, it is very early, but you want points on the board, and Celtic have done it the right way. You can't be dropping draws away from home or at home. You've got to get the points on early, and it makes a massive difference. And I think Celtic at the moment just got that momentum where they're going into games and like we always have and believe that we're going to win. It's always going to be difficult. I think away from home, and especially when defenders and teams sit in, and you've just got to try and get that first goal. But they've dealt with it fantastic, and 5 points clear. I know it's only 6 or 7 games in, but it's a big promising performance on Saturday as well, and it just lifts everyone. You could just have that momentum when you go into training. The staff there, the buzzing, the fans outside. You just got to keep hold of that and just keep riding it as long as possible. And like you said, it'll be interesting now on Tuesday.
And we'll move on to that. So, this is a Euro roundup. Real Madrid got a 2-1 win over Real Betis on Saturday. Vinicius and Rodrigo scoring their goals. They're top of La Liga, a couple of points clear of Barcelona and Villarreal. RB Leipzig got battered 4-0 by our good friends Eintracht Frankfurt. They're struggling a bit in the Bundesliga. And finally, Shakhtar Donetsk beat Rook Lviv 1-0, and they had 10 men for the majority of that game. So the Euro squad was announced yesterday. Yosuke Ideguchi was the big name to miss out. Probably the right call, given that the likes of Moy and Abildgaard have been signed, and James McCarthy qualifies on List B as well. Real Madrid tomorrow, Joe. Courtois, Modric, Kroos, Hazard if he plays, Benzema. Do you ever play against any of those guys?
Yeah, I've played against Modric. I think Kroos as well against Germany, and obviously Hazard when I was at my time at Crystal Palace against Chelsea, and obviously as well in Belgium. We've done pretty good against Belgium over the time for Wales, and managed to get a few victories over them. But these players are one of the best in the world, and that's why the club like Madrid. I do believe that I don't think it's the strongest Real Madrid team over the last few years. With players which have gone and left, but they're top of La Liga for the reason. Same as Celtic being top, in the Scottish Premier League. So it's going to be difficult. They're going to have a lot of possession, but I think the way you defend, I think Celtic could hurt them with their pace and power. Jota and Abada as well. So it's winnable. I really do believe that Celtic could win it. You'd take a draw, don't get me wrong, all day, but they just got that vast experience in the Champions League, Real Madrid, and you've seen now over the last few years when they get into finals and winning trophies as well. So they're a very experienced team, but I think Celtic on the day they could do them over.
It's a weird one because if we'd have been drawn against Bayern Munich or Man City or Liverpool, I'd probably be slightly more fearful. I've watched a lot of Madrid and La Liga, and you're never blown away by them, but they just have amazing individual quality. A Modric pass, a Vinicius bit of skill, or a Benzema finish. That was at the quarter or the semi-final against Man City. I mean, they should never have gone through in that time. Man City were the far better team, but Madrid just had that bit of quality, and it was Benzema and Modric, I think, at the end of that second leg. How do you deal with that kind of quality tomorrow? Can you deal with it?
You just got to concentrate 100%. You got to be on it. You got to listen. It's a completely different game to what it's going to be in the Scottish Premier League. You ain't going to have much of the ball, which you're not really used to. You're going to have to sit in, really defend, and then counter attack, which we've seen. What Celtic are capable of doing, counter attacking, but you just got to stop balls into your box. You got to compact the midfield and sort of let them have the ball and show them in wide areas and then defend. But like you said, they have scraped out a lot of results this season, Real Madrid. It's not like they've been, 4-3-0 here and there. So, but they just got vast experience, Modric, Kroos, Benzema. They've been there and done it, and you just can't give them a split seconds because they will punish you.
You talk about that concentration, and the obvious game that comes to mind is Barcelona in 2012. How do you concentrate for 90 minutes, and how tough is that?
It's really tough because you're doing a lot more running than what you used to because you haven't got the ball. You've got to move side to side. You always got to communicate with your back four or back five at times, which we played. And our game plan was to show Barca outside because if you give them time in the midfield and central areas and Messi turning, then we had no hope, and it worked. I think because we knew we can defend, we had height above them, and if they put balls in, we could deal with it pretty good. So it is just working with your back four, especially as a midfield. You got to make sure the gaps are not too big, because once you get them through, you get on the half turn, that's where Celtic could get hurt.
And when you do get the ball, important you keep it as well. I mean,
Keep it, yeah.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Don't give it back.
we are good at keeping the ball though under Ange. So, but it's difficult when you're going to be up against I think a press. I think Real Madrid play quite a decent press. Certainly, players like Vinicius can press. So it's important you keep it, but. Yeah, I mean, you can't really afford to show them too much onto the wings, given that you've got Benzema in the middle. I mean, they've got great players, but for me, Benzema is just the standout player. I mean, the level of his finishing is incredible, and you know, if he plays tomorrow, I think there's a fair chance he probably scores. But it's just a case of us, you know, trying to keep the ball. But we're going to have a go at them as well under Ange, aren't we? So it's going to be a pretty end-to-end game, I would say.
It will be. And it's always the same with Real Madrid, because they're exactly the same. They will go forward. They will leave 2v2, 1v1 at the back, and they're a very offensive team. They bomb on. The midfield goes as well, and their fullbacks bomb on. So it will be entertaining. It will be end to end. But like you said, once you've retrieved that ball, you've got to get that first pass off. You've got to keep possession. I know it's going to be very difficult, but that turnover is vital tomorrow. And once you get them into wide areas, Jota and Abada, you know, that's where Celtic, I think, could hurt them.
Yeah. So it's 10 years since Celtic beat a Spanish team in the Champions League. Do you know anything about that night, Joe? I don't know if you remember that. Barcelona, we beat them apparently 2-1. Not sure.
No, I'm not sure.
What is it about these nights at Celtic Park that what makes them so special?
It's the atmosphere. You know, once that Champions League music goes off, there's no better feeling.
What are you thinking when you're standing there on the pitch and you hear that? What's going through your head?
Just amazed. You know, just to play in the Champions League, the best European competition in the world, against the best players in the world, and you just feel the buzz around the stadium. It's electric. It's a weird feeling because it don't half lift you, and I just loved it when that theme come on. You watch it on the TV when you're a young kid, and being a part of it, and the fans just create this electric sort of atmosphere which gets you going and lifts you massively as a player and as a team as well, because you know we always know we're going to be in for difficult times because you are playing against the best teams, but it's just an amazing atmosphere at Celtic Park on under the lights as well.
Yeah, we know that these UEFA games are pretty different from, you know, the numbers on the back of the kit being different to the media being done in a tent outside Celtic Park. Is there anything that's different from a player's point of view that maybe people watching this wouldn't know?
You know, it's long because the night before you'll be in a hotel. We used to sometimes go into training in the morning under Lenny and just do a little stretch and a little bit of ball work. And you get back, you relax, you have your lunch, have a little sleep, and then get ready for pre-match. And then I think pre-match is when it sort of kicks in, because you're preparing properly, you're starting to feel the nerves. It's not long before for the game. Time you have that, you get showered, and then you have your team meeting, you watch a bit of video, and then you're on the bus, and then before you know it, the game started. And that's what is the norm, really, what happens before these big games. And you can sort of, when the bus is driving in, you can feel the atmosphere, you can see the fans crowding and, you know, waiting outside Celtic Park, and that's when you just know you're ready to go.
And when you're playing against these, you know, immense players, Messi, Xavi, Kaká, etc., are you, this might be a daft question, are you aware who it is? Are you thinking that in the back of your mind, God, this is Messi here, it's not some player from, you know, Ross County or whatever?
Oh, it's starstruck. You know, I was just amazed to see him on the pitch and play against him live. You know, I've always seen him on TV, but to be there standing, you know, in the tunnel next to him and walking out and tackling him and trying to play is just the best feeling ever. And it's a special moment. It's an absolute honour to be in the Champions League. I think it's huge for Celtic, you know, season after season to be in these competitions, because I think when you speak to everyone, even down here, down south, they love seeing Celtic in the Champions League. That atmosphere, the building from it, and it's just an amazing achievement to have played in them.
Yeah, because I was looking at the Celtic squad. The club actually had us into Celtic Park after the draw, and we spoke to Kyogo and Moritz Jens, and both of them were buzzing with the draw. They were buzzing they're going to be playing against Real Madrid. There wasn't even a hint of kind of fear about that, really. Maybe there is somewhere, but they both seemed, Kyogo especially, just seemed buzzing for this opportunity. Yeah. Looking at the TV schedule tomorrow night, I think Man City are the main game on BT. They're playing Sevilla. But Celtic Real Madrid's like one of the biggest games in Europe tomorrow night, if not the biggest. What an opportunity for these players to go out and create something special.
Well, that's it. It's like you said, I remember being a draw. You do want to play against these best teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, AC Milan, Juventus, teams like that. It's just an opportunity to go and play in these stadiums, go abroad as well. And play against the best players in the world, and you've got an opportunity to make history. Like you said, we keep talking about this. 10 years ago with Barcelona, and if they win, tomorrow night, they keep talking about, and that's what you need to do at Celtic. You need to make history, because fans thrive under there. They love it, and as a player, they never forget as well.
Yeah, can't wait for it. In terms of the officials, everyone they're from Switzerland. Referee is Sandro Scherer. Assistant referees are Beckham Zoyaj and Jonas Erne. Fourth official, Lucas Fandrich. Video assistant referee, also Swiss, Fedai San is his name. Video assistant referee is Thomas Kwiatkowski, who is Polish. And a reminder, I don't know if you know this, Joe, that semi-automated offside technology is in place tomorrow night, meaning that computers will decide whether players are offside or not. Are you a fan of that? Computers deciding offsides?
No, you've already seen it so far this season with VAR and all this computer stuff. It's sort of not working in a way. I think you do need ex-players on board as well. It's been difficult times. I know we're still learning about how to work it, and just makes the referee's job a lot easier, don't get me wrong, but still not 100% correct at the moment, and with computers deciding, I'm not too sure about that. It's going to be a difficult one, especially if it doesn't go your way. You're always going to be disappointed, and fans will be, but I do believe it. We do need VAR, because especially on big occasions, but FA Cup finals or something like that, you don't want to be losing to a goal which was offside, but time will tell. I think it's 50-50 at the moment with certain decisions. But I'm not sure about computers.
See how it goes tomorrow. Maybe Kyogo won't be wrongly flagged offside. Right, youth game tomorrow. They're in action. The fixtures mirror the first team. So Celtic, I think it's under 19s, are playing Real Madrid under 19s in Airdrie at 3 p.m. and it's live on BT Sport as well, BT Sport 1. So that'll fill a few hours tomorrow. Also, we will have a live show we're planning tomorrow. We're doing things a little bit differently for the game tomorrow. Instead of our usual post-match reaction, we're going to be with you for a live preview at lunchtime tomorrow. Really get you pumped up for the game, and we'll then have a reaction of sorts on Wednesday lunchtime. Just a wee decision that we've made just to change it up so that we can get maximum enjoyment out of the game as well as yourselves. Final question, Joe. How is it going to go tomorrow? What's your gut telling you?
It's a difficult one. I really do believe it's going to be end to end. I'm going to go 2-1 Celtic. I just feel like with the atmosphere and the way Celtic are with the momentum at the moment and hurting Real Madrid on the counter attack, I think there will be goals. Don't get me wrong, I've got to keep Benzema quiet because he is a threat as well at the other end. So I'm going to go 2-1 Celtic.
Didn't even ask for an actual prediction, and he's given us it. What a guy!
There you go. I just know what's going to happen.
A strong debut, mate. Hopefully, 2-1. If we win 2-1, you'll have to scrape me from the ceiling on Wednesday morning, because that would be tremendous. We'll catch up with you again next week, Joe, on Monday, when we'll be looking ahead to, I think it's Shakhtar Donetsk away, so the big games keep coming. We're close to 33,000 subscribers as well, everyone, so if you want to join this big Celtic 67 Hail Hail family with me, Jackie, Scott, Joe and so many more, get subbing and we will speak to you tomorrow.